me. Come on strong, go on and love me. Let's not waste that big old moon. Wake up and smell the perfume. Just say if you want to be more than friends. Got some
Not quite.
love.
Now we're live.
Yeah, it looks like you have to go to helpouts.google.com/welcome
Right.
to make money via Hangouts. That's what we're talking about, right?
Yep, that's right.
And
Very appropriate to see you, Wade, with your lower third, and then you're talking about making money with Google Hangouts. That's so cool.
Yeah, right on.
nice. Well, I'm actually on the welcome page right now.
Right. Are we on air?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
You didn't get the memo, did you?
I sort of said it like just really. Oh, by the way, we're on air.
Okay,
No, I heard.
so I'm guessing, before there'll soon be an information product about this, and then there'll soon be Google putting out all their stuff on this. But how do you guys see making money with this? And see, this is where I think, I guess, I've been trying to really just kind of think about, how to make, at least what I'm doing, personally, I think about like the guys I used to be in my house and this is interesting. The folks I used to be in the boarding school with, and Wade, I know, Deborah knows this, you may not know this. I used to live with 12 guys in high school. So my wife and I, we were basically house parents. And so
Not in high school. Not when he was in high. No.
not when I was in high school. But they're
Married young, eh?
School,
No.
Right, yes,
Yeah.
we had high school age from 96 until 2009. So we always had 12 guys in the house that were of high school age. And was really, I think, one of the real questions throughout that time, because these are all guys who were at risk, right? And so on the one hand, there was always an angle that said, hey, we got to get these guys into college. We got to get these guys in a 4-year college so they will, quote unquote, have a shot at life. And then there were these other voices that were saying, well, they don't necessarily have to go to college to have a decent life. And coming in there, being a college graduate, I was almost insulted that they would be telling these kids that hey, you can take this alternative path and still end up where you're supposed to be. Man, I thought, man, that you can't tell these kids that. Well, I have to say now that that having the perspective I'm having, and when I look at this medium, I'm willing to pay, you're willing to pay for expertise, right? And so if a person has the expertise, I don't know if we're totally there in our society, but am I really going to care if MBA is going across that line? Am I really going to care if all that stuff is going to be on their lower third? Probably not. Right? And so you talk about the opportunity. Well, this means that if you have expertise or you have really dedicated yourself to knowing like one thing, and you get on camera, you can help me, right? And you've got a track record, you've demonstrated that, I'm going to pay you. But does that mean then that that this is a new opportunity, or is it going to squeeze other people out? I don't know.
You remind me of when you say that is the craftsman era, and obviously I wasn't born then, but what was that, the 1920s to 1940s, or when people, like building houses and the architecture and really making sure there was like an art form to the science of building houses. And again, I don't know what I'm talking about really, but it seems like we're getting back to that as far as rather than just all the, like you said, as far as the degrees and so forth. it's like really fine tuning our craft.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with, and obviously I'm overstating the case, right? It just doesn't have to be anymore. And we're having this debate, right? We're having this debate in my family, all my family, everybody in my family is a teacher. Everybody teaches something, right? Either college, elementary school, retired teacher, my mother's a librarian, everybody does.
That sounds like a song.
Everybody teaches? Yeah. My daughter is kind of taken, this alternative path, right? She got finished with high school early, and I'm not pushing her this year to go to a 4-year college. First of all, I don't want to pay all the money this year to have her kind of figure out what she's going to do. I'm not doing that. But my feeling is more like to have her develop some skills. So she's taken all the material on corporate sponsorships, and she's focusing on that. Is she going to come out with something good? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But I think when you have something like this, you can be an expert, and you can really be paid for your expertise. And man, I mean, somebody's going to sit down in front of their webcam, and they're going to make a living.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
realize your daughter, if she figures out like what the key is at her young age for corporate sponsorships? I mean, she hasn't made. Do you know how many people would pay her to go in and get corporate sponsorships? I would.
Right. And it has nothing to do with, and the webcam doesn't care how old she is. You know what I'm saying? None of this stuff, it doesn't matter anymore, right? So, the whole age thing, like the age, experience, experience meant seniority. Well, what does that mean, right? It's, and again, I'm generalizing. I understand that, and this is simplifying this whole thing. But what does all that mean if I can sit down in front of a camera and I can really help you? Doesn't mean anything, right? As long as I can help you and you're willing to exchange the money, what does it mean? Nothing.
Right.
I'm trying not to picture this, but when you were talking, Charles, I was picturing a plumbing situation, and you're taking the webcam over to the toilet saying, okay, something's clogged, what do I do? It's just goes a whole nother direction of video.
Well, or your mobile device. You just walk your mobile device over.
That's smart. Just don't drop it in.
I'll pay.
Close up.
But what does it cost you to have that guy come out to your house?
I don't know, because I'm married to a guy that can fix it, so I don't know what the pricing is on plumbers.
Yeah,
but...
that's right.
What are your thoughts, Wade?
Oh, I'm totally in agreement with this whole thing. Somebody's, there's going to be a lot of people are going to make a lot of money doing this. They're going to make probably millions. There's going to be a handful of people who make millions, and there's going to be even more people to make a good living at doing this. And if you have expertise in a field or an area or a specific niche, now you don't have to have a website to make money. You can just, all you have to have is a webcam and the knowledge and the know-how to do something, and you're going to make some money.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like about it.
And for Google's benefit, you don't have to have a fan page either, right? I mean, you just have to have a Google Plus account, and you can just get across that camera.
That's it. Now, of course, it's going to be work. I mean, I don't think that somebody could just come off the street without any knowledge of Google Plus. Well, say they had knowledge of Google Plus, but you couldn't just come on to Google Plus, get a Gmail account, create your account, and then start making money right away. And that's where maybe is this going to be another venue for the internet marketing scams? We'll show you how to make money doing videos, blah blah blah. It could be, and probably will be. So I don't know. I mean, the mistake that most people's going to make is they're going to see this and see dollar signs, and then they're going to, even some people might even quit their job because they're so excited about it. And then you can't come off into anything without a following. That's where the following comes in. So you don't have to have a fan page, but I think it would be wise to have something on Google, like a Google page to, represent your brand.
Right.
And at least stay active on Google Plus.
And please don't quit your day job if you don't have to until you make sure that you're making some money offline.
Yes, please. Yeah, please don't do that. Or don't tell your spouse we said anything about this thing.
Exactly. I say, don't come back here. Don't.
It was Wade that brought up the subject.
Yeah.
Wade.
But see, that's truth. That's truth. I mean, people will get into I've been writing a lot on emotional qualities of a reader, and these squeeze pages, they have this emotion, and people buy into that and they trust that. And so if these internet marketers come in and they say, look, pay me $500, I'll show you in this video how you can do this just like I do. But what they don't tell you is it takes years to get a massive following to where you're going to make money every time.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, but it's like one of the first things that I guess it was Jay Abraham that tried to really kind of give structure to what he felt like marketing was, and that whole direct marketing piece, that I think Dan Kennedy and all these guys, I think they sort of brought to the forefront. I mean, that's the whole pitch. I mean, it's not you don't make an appeal to the logic, you don't make an appeal to the brain. The appeal is made to the heartstrings, and you're trying to go beyond their brain. And so you sort of hope that Google is going to throttle this by being the arbiter, right? So they're going to say, well, we're not going to let everybody even do this, right? And then if somebody comes back and says, I feel like I got robbed. I feel like, this guy sold me, his coaching, and it was all emotional, and it came off this sales page, but it really wasn't what he said it was going to be, right? I think they're going to try to control the marketplace. And have it so that you just got this marketplace of people that you can choose from. I mean, eventually you are going to have to be able to link to your profile on the thing. If they let us in, I mean, they might only be looking for plumbers. And maybe all us, like I said, all us guys who are, in the Matrix, they don't want it. Right, so who knows?
It'd be interesting to know what the criteria is, because obviously they have a vested interest in not having to do a bunch of chargebacks or I shouldn't say chargebacks, but the refunds.
Right.
So they're going to want quality.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I can see wanting to pay a plumber and trying to decide whether or not I'm going to have an emergency plumber come out, or whether I'm going to jump on with Virtual Pete. And see if he
does sound funny, though. Hey, it's a new way of thinking.
And if Virtual Pete he's 24 hours a day, or she's 24 hours a day, right? And and see, there's another thing, and I think I had this conversation with my daughter too, and I said, look, I don't really care what you do. I want you to feel like you have a sense of calling about what you're doing. So if you think you were created to be a plumber, don't think I'm going to get in your way. I'm going to make sure you get all the proper certifications, because I don't want you going to somebody's house messing up their plumbing. So that's what I'm going to do. But so then you probably got a lot of people, a lot of women who are probably thinking, well, yeah, maybe I don't want to be a plumber going in and out of people's house, right? Just because of people's perception. But if she's got the expertise to kind of guide you through on camera, I mean, there'd be a lot of dudes who would like.
It's like, I got something stuck. I want.
There'd be a whole lot of dudes who'd be like, yeah, that's the plumber I want.
Okay, Google's gonna shut me down, but I'm thinking plumber crack too. And okay.
They said, no, what do I want? Do I want to look at Charles or Wade, or do I want to? Yeah, I like that plumber right there.
Yeah.
Wow, that opens up a whole nother. I'm trying to think. When I signed up, did I choose entertainment or educate? Now all of a sudden, the entertainment category. I don't think that was a category, but it was education. But
Right? Yeah.
wow.
I like it. I like the idea. Regardless of whether or not they take me in, and I'll be hurt if they don't bring me in. But yeah, I mean, I like the idea though.
It really puts another facet to the whole. You work with a lot of consultants, Charles,
And
how they can augment their income.
Well, it's going to be disruptive, right? The deal is, and probably the same thing is true in any gig. What do people not want to do? They don't want to cold call, right? And so if they're going to be, and we all know there's going to be probably a bazillion, gazillion, trillion social media ninjas on this thing. If Google allows it. If they allow it, they might throttle this thing, right? They might say, well, look, Charles, we got somebody in Harrisburg that's doing this. If they and this is who we want, and hey, you know what? There are all kinds of other ways. We're not limiting you from making anything. This is just our person in Harrisburg that we want for this particular specialty. So maybe next time, or maybe if that person falls out, maybe they'll throttle it that way, right? And say, we're just going to only have this person as our person, and the rest can kind of go back and continue doing what they're doing. They're not being hurt by this. They're just not going to be on our team, right?
But there's two things on that one. They're taking some interest in quality SERPs. So you're thinking, well, they might not want to back something that's not quality, so they may throttle it because they're looking at quality control. But also on the flip side, when you look at AdSense, that's a 24/7. You put some ads on, they're always running. The website's there. They visit. They get.
You're right. It is different in that aspect. But I was just talking about in the sense of more is better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe that they will throttle it as far as content and vetting people. But I don't believe that they would limit the Harrisonburg area for Charles to just one person. See, you know what I mean?
Especially
right. No,
the demand.
I think you're right. Yeah, but then I guess that'll be interesting then, because the idea isn't new. They didn't create the idea. So if they do that, right? If they do throttle it, then that's opportunity then for somebody. Now it won't rank in search. But I don't know, search doesn't necessarily mean everything that it used to mean. And what did Yahoo pass Google this month, right, for the first time? The advantage Google has is that, okay, it's going to be ranking in search, and Google is big and it's ubiquitous. But at the same time, though, there's some really smart people out there who can build a platform of experts, right, and say, well, hey, you know what, you can go over there to Google where they do all this stuff, whatever the negative is, but you can come over here, well, it's really cool, and we're like really, we got the real experts, and, you can go over there and hang with the riffraff, or you can come over here and hang with us, right? And so, I could see that, right? And so it'll open up another opportunity for somebody to be creative and put their little platform up there too.
That's like McDonald's and Burger King. They actually, don't stats show that McDonald's and Burger King do better if they're on like separate corners than if there's just one of them?
Right. I haven't seen that, but it would make sense to me, right? I mean, Burger King, if you drive by it, it always smells like a little bit of heaven to me. I don't eat red meat, but that flame broiled, and I guess I'm getting off topic, but that flame broil almost brings me in every time I drive by a Burger King. And now I've noticed that McDonald's now is pumping the smell of coffee out of theirs. So they're not even, they're like wanting the coffee to try to bring you in, as Burger King wants the smell of burgers to bring you in. But okay, that's off topic. That was kind of.
But you know what? It works from a marketing perspective, because if you're driving along and you've got your two girls with you and you're drawn to the smell of coffee, and maybe your wife is drawn to something at another restaurant, now they both benefit.
Right.
Yeah, it's all about getting the attention. Get the attention, get the interest, and make the sale.
Oh, well, thank you guys.
All right,
Yeah.
Joel.
Thank y'all.
Take care. Bye.
Don't you wanna kiss and hug me? Come on strong, go on and love me. Let's not waste that big old moon. Wake up and smell the perfume. Just say if you wanna be more than friends. Got some love I'd like to make. Baby, you can squeeze me, I won't break. We could be in a paradise, you and me. Until then, I'll remind you again. Just say when. Oh yeah, until then, I'll remind you again. Just say when. Oh baby, just say when.